Hi, Soul Family. We're going to do a reading this afternoon. I think we're going to go out on the deck. I've been working all day, and wow, something's going on. My solar plexus just literally started to spin. Wow. Song playing right now. I've been losing sleep. Soon, no more counting dollars. We'll be counting sheep. I feel so right doing the wrong thing. I feel so wrong doing the right thing. Habits that people have a difficult time breaking, right? I know it's not right. I know I have to stop doing this, but what feels good? An addiction, right? Always comes back to addiction for me. I don't know why. And it doesn't have to be a drug, right? An addiction doesn't have to be a drug. What is your drug? What is your drug of choice? Control, working, a woman, a man, I don't know. But somebody knows what they're doing is not the right thing to do, but it feels good to them because they've always done it, right? It's not comfortable to change things about yourself. You're comfortable doing what you've always done. So maybe that's it. It could be a form of communication, right? Or poor communication. I don't tell the way I actually really feel. I hold my feelings inside. Even though I feel this, I say that or act this way. Because why? Because I've always done it that way. I take that money, watch it burn, sink in the river the lessons I learn, right? I'm working 24/7, not giving attention to my family. I'm focusing on the almighty dollar as a way to not pay attention to what's actually going on in my heart. I don't want to go there. I don't want to think about that. So I'm going to bury myself into my work so I avoid dealing with whatever I need to deal with. Okay, I wanted to tell you something that's really cool. I have to come back and forth with you guys. So we're going to go outside because I need to show you something. Remember how when I was out here the other day, I had the frog. Why did I say frog? Okay, well, the frog is the crow. Remember our frog that we're going to kiss and he's going to turn into a prince, right? Well, we don't really want a prince. We'd rather have an emperor. But, and I kept saying that I was arguing with that crow. I said, see, he's arguing with me right now, right? Hold on. When I go outside, I got to put my sunglasses on because I can't freaking see. Look out there while I figure out where the hell my glasses are. And then I'll come back and swap them. Okay, song right now, it's you, babe. I'm a sucker, so somebody knows who it is. They know who it is, and they know what it is, but I could run, but it's you, babe. So I'm trying to pretend, right? I know what it is. You know who it is. You know who we are. We're playing this game. Okay, so I said that the crow was arguing with me in the front palm tree, and then when I came out back, I said, listen to them. Every time I said something, it was verified by the crow. I just heard a June bug. I didn't see him, but I heard him. Where are you? See, there's another message. I saw a butterfly right by, an orange butterfly, sacral chakra. Maybe, actually, you know, when I think about it, no, it's my solar plexus that I was feeling. Okay, so what I noticed this morning, and I was watching them the other day playing in the wind, watching the crows, and it was really funny yesterday. Actually, the ones that I watched that were the funniest were these 3 ducks. And they were in an updraft. And they went up, and they looked like you know that message about how you're free falling, you're falling out of the back of the plane, and your chute's not coming up. That's what it looked like. They went flying along, and then they got carried up, and they looked a little awkward as they were flying. And then all of a sudden, the wind dropped, and they were like, whoa! And they were trying to regain themselves, right? These 3, oh, I get that message. These 3 ducks. So I feel like those 3 were interfering, and the wind came and knocked them off their feet, and they were trying to regain their feet. That's interesting. So as I was out there watching them play, it was really funny. It's fun for me to watch these animals out here. This is going to be something I'll miss when I leave here, for sure. And there's something going on with me about moving in the works right now, so I'm not saying anything until I know what's going on, you know, details. So you'll find out when you find out. So I'm looking at this lake and I'm watching all these animals playing, and yesterday I was watching the crows and I was laughing at them, and they make me laugh because I love them, right? And I'm sitting out here watching these crows go back and forth, and it seemed they were going to my roof, And then they were going over to these palm trees here. And every time I saw them, they were carrying like a big string or big piece of stick. And I watched this morning and I realized they're building a nest. They're building a nest. The crows are building a nest in that palm tree. And it's right, I wonder if you can see it. See the tall one right here and then the one right there? It's right in the V of the top palm fronds. That's where the nest has been built. You probably can't see it, but I'm super excited. I think that's the coolest thing ever. Crow babies, they're building a nest in the palm trees. So for my own personal life, the people that I've been dealing with are the palm tree family. They're prickly, right? It's hard to hug them. It's hard to hug them. And somebody is feathering their nest. You know, they're building a house. The one right now, boy, let's not talk right now. Last night you were in my dreams. Last night you were in my room. I was in your room. I'm in love with the shape of you. We push and pull like magnets do. I've talked to you guys about the push and pull thing, right? Last night you were in my dreams, and my bed sheets smell like you. Discovering something brand new. I'm in love with your body. Okay, so somebody's energetically connecting. Okay, now I gotta switch my glasses. Hold on. Look who's my co-pilot right to this morning. Hi, want to say hi to everyone? Say hi, everyone. Isn't he the coolest ever? Okay. We're going out on our first date. Okay, I gotta turn the radio down or I'm gonna be majorly distracted. I'm doing this reading super late. I wasn't gonna do a reading today. And somebody from Wisconsin wrote to me and they're talking about moving and they wanted to know, they want to move to a warmer spot and they were asking about what I felt, you know, and I said, oh, well, I've got 1 foot in Arizona, 1 foot California. So, and they were, you know, wanting to know what Spirit had to say about that. And I thought, that's interesting because maybe, I mean, I know that's how it works for me. Anytime I need a message, like if I'm I've asked for something, I ask the universe and then I just get busy doing something else, right? Because I know it'll come if I leave it alone. And so, you know, a little while later, I got that message. So I thought, oh, they're going to try. Whatever I get in that message for them will give me a message as well. So I thought I'd look up, my solar plexus is spinning. See, I'm connecting to that energy, that song. So I looked up crow totem because they're clearly building a nest right across from me in that palm tree, in that prickly palm tree. Now, a palm tree, I'm a tree hugger. It's hard to hug a palm tree, right? They're prickly, they're strong, they're tall, they're proud. They like it warmer. They don't like cold climates, right? They like warmer climates. They don't knock down in the wind easily at all. They're majestic, right? They got a lot of fans. Oh my God. I'm laughing. They got a lot of fans. Those are fan palms, okay? Fan palms. That's funny, because there's lady palms that have those are my favorite. The queen palms, those are my favorite. The ones that have the flowing branches. But these fan palms, these are Mexican palms, right? Fan palms. Building a nest. Okay. So I thought, okay, there's a message and I need to ask Spirit. So one of the things about crows, now first of all, crows are thieves, right? They steal, they like shiny objects. They have the intelligence of a 7 to 10-year-old child. So it might be somebody in your life that's acting childish, right? And a lot of times they get a bad rap because people think, you know, they're coming from the void. I spoke about them in a negative way too. Those crows are dive bombing my red hawk, which is me, right? And so those crows are building a nest and they got a baby on the way, is what I'm getting. Could be a new beginning, a new partnership, whatever. And they're fans, fan palms. I think that's hysterical. They got a lot of fans. So they're used to a lot of attention. And so you can go negative or you can go positive. The crow's talking about the shadows and the light, that, you know, you can't have light without darkness. You have to have a balance of both. It's also telling you, what were the other messages? There was another, hold on. Because I have a specific group of I like to read the totem messengers from this specific company. I like the way they do it. I like the way, everybody has their own unique way of describing something or explaining something. And I like it for them because they give specific messages that the crow is telling you. So like I said to you, I get all kinds of information. Like as I'm talking to you, I'm going, oh, okay, I'm getting that. Click, 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 right? Intuition, click, click, click. And then I have, people can put a little thought in your head, right? You never underestimate the power of planting a seed, right? So there can be confusion, there can be illusion, everybody has their own perception of looking at something, right? Based on their experience. I can look at that and I can think, I don't want a fan, right? I don't want a fan. I don't want followers. I want to be one just like you. But to someone else, it could be something else. I'm not a fan of that, right? I don't really like that. Well, that doesn't mean I don't want people to like me. Of course I do. So if you've got a lot of fans, a lot of people like you. A lot of people like you. And they look up to you, right? A palm tree is a majestic, very distinguished, very stands out. And what's really cool about the palm tree is that it's hard to hug. It's not going to be letting a lot of people manhandle it, right? I like that too. So you can look at it in a negative or a positive way. And the way this company writes, they have a message specifically from the totem to you. And I said that because of the fact that we're all looking at things from our own perspective and jaded sometimes from whatever experiences we've gone through in our childhood or our life previously, maybe I'm seeing it right, or maybe I'm looking at it through the veil of my lens, right? That's my truth. It doesn't necessarily mean it's your truth. So we need an unballast, that's a word, ballast, unbiased viewpoint. And so I said, when it comes right down to it, I have prophetic dreams, and they are extremely accurate, but some of them are symbolic. And as I said, even though they're prophetic, yes, they are prophetic. I am seeing what I'm seeing, but I might be watching 10 years ago, or I might be watching your mother dream. See how I knocked my glasses off? I might be getting a skewed perspective, right? So even though, yes, I'm being shown things and they are very, very accurate, I trust my animal messengers before I trust anyone. I trust my animal messengers before I trust any human. Okay? Because when they come straight from spirit. That's why I love. And the fact that the palm tree right outside of my windows is building a home directly across from me. And I gave you all those messages. This is a message from me. So first of all, a ballast, because I said that, and I didn't say that accidentally. Spirit wanted me to look it up. So it's a heavy substance placed in, it's such as rocks or water, placed in a way to improve stability and control. I knocked my glasses off and I said I needed a more balanced perspective. A ballast is something that holds and gives stability, right? Also, an electrical ballast is placed with the load to limit the amount of current in electrical circuit. It may be fixed or variable. A familiar and widely used example is the inductive ballast used in fluorescent lamps, light, right? To limit the current through the tube, which otherwise need rise to a destructive level due to the negative differential resistance. Okay, so a ballast is a device so that the light is properly shone on what you need. Oh, I love how spirit works. Love. Okay. So the first crow company, the company, I call it the company, the people that spoke about crow that I came about, it's basically a totem messenger that is the keeper of secrets. There's a lot of secrecy around me. And remember the message we got in our reading, was it yesterday or the day before, how the lovers, one way you can show your love for your partner is keeping their secrets, right? And that song by Ed Sheeran, I found a girl perfect for me. She's not only does she share my secrets, she's gonna share my home with me. So it's when somebody tells you something that's secretive or something that other people don't know, they trust you, right? It's a big deal. It's a big deal. So you have to be respectful of their trust and feel honored and hold on, I'm just looking at something really weird. It's the strangest thing I just saw. So what I'm looking at, this is a side point, what I'm looking at is a picture of a type of health issue, right? They're showing about what you can do to burn belly fat, what you can do if you have diabetes, how you draw illness out of your feet by placing onions underneath socks, right? It draws the illness out of your feet. They're talking about a vegetable that is invasive to your stomach. And then they show this item, and I guess it shows what it does to your stomach. And as I looked at it, I saw a deer sitting. It's interesting to me. So there's intestines, and it looks to me as though there's, okay, I'm gonna have to pull it up. I don't know why we're going here, but we are. Doctors no longer prescribe metformin. Now, my mama Sherry in Wisconsin, she's my soul mama, she posted a post about how there was a huge bust, how a bunch of medical doctors were busted for prescribing opiates, right? Unnecessary opiates, and then people are addicted to substances. So remember I kept talking about addiction? Doesn't mean that somebody's a drug addict, that they chose to have that happen. My son-in-law had a very bad car accident when he was young and has extreme pain in his neck, and he has an issue with his jaw that it doesn't stop growing, and it's very, very heavy. And his brother had it done. You have to break their jaw, rewire. It's a huge thing. And you were supposed to have it done when you were little, but they didn't have the money. The brother had it done, but he didn't. So he lives with this extreme pain. And so he had the pain medication that he had issues, getting addicted to the pain pills. It wasn't that he's a freaking drug addict, right? So I have talked about many, many times how people that are super sensitives like us, they may not have understood what they were and what they were dealing with. And maybe they've grown up in a house with other people that had issues. And because they had these super sensitive feelings, dreams, visions, things that they couldn't explain and didn't understand, and maybe someone in the family had actually a mental issue, they were started to be prescribed. They prescribed Ritalin to them, right? Or they prescribed whatever so that they would sleep at night. So they thought they were crazy, right? And in all reality, there was nothing wrong with them. They were misdiagnosed. I've been showing this forever. Misdiagnosed. That's why I got that message. Don't take the gas. I know you think you're doing something that's good for you, but you're misdiagnosing something. It's not. It's hurting you, right? So it doesn't mean that that person was a crazy drug addict. It meant that something was misdiagnosed and they were taking the wrong thing, expecting it to treat the issue when it was exacerbating the problem. And that is also a symbolic message for all of us. We may be looking at something, seeing it in this way, and then we're acting in that way, thinking we're treating the problem, but we're actually exacerbating the problem, which is probably something that I've been doing because I have had all these secrets around me for the last 6 years, right? Not really truthfully knowing what's going on, thinking I'm knowing, but it not being explained to me, so I'm trying to piece it together. So here's a message, right? If you don't want somebody to assume the wrong thing, be straight, be honest. Let them know what's going on, right? If you present something to somebody, and I was just told again this morning, there's a misunderstanding between you and your twin. I know that. But then even recently, up until recently, something was said to me and it wasn't explained. It was like a partial truth. Yes, it was truth, but it wasn't, I haven't finished saying what I need to say, or I didn't tell you the whole thing, and all I got was what was said, and that was it. I walked away, right? Well, that wasn't the way it was supposed to go down. Whoops. It wasn't explained all the way, and that's not quite exactly what I meant, but I didn't explain it, so now you have all these misconceptions about what's going on. Your feelings are hurt, my feelings are hurt, because there's a misunderstanding. So make sure that you deal with that. So what I'm looking at, now clearly what I was looking at was what looked to me like a little deer. Now I'm going to say the deer represents someone who has that gentle, sensitive energy, right? It could be somebody that's come out of a very difficult situation. They're not quite sure where they're headed, so they walk gently on their path. Somebody that's going into a situation that they're not sure what's happening, so they walk gently on their path. Also, you think about a deer, they're beautiful, right? Beautiful big eyes, long eyelashes. They're very gentle and they're very sensitive, and they have psychic antennae, right? And they're skittish. And you don't yell and scream and force a deer to do something. You gently coax it, right? So behave gently. Don't be so domineering and like today there's been a lot that I've been posting about because I've had a lot of clients that I've been dealing with that are dealing with abusive husbands, and yet at the exact same time there are men Like I said, sometimes a man's embarrassed because he's the one that was abused in a relationship, right? So there's been a lot about being strong and about standing your truth and speaking your truth, which also can be misconstrued about me. And like for myself, I've been misunderstood my whole freaking life, so I get it, right? And so a lot of times we feel that we have to dumb ourselves down, right? Women aren't supposed to be strong, outspoken leaders. They're supposed to be in subjection, quiet, mannered, and allow the men to take the lead. Well, I was raised by two independent, very strong women who had no men around, right? We had to take care of ourselves. There was nobody there to take care of us. And God wants us to stand equally on our own. I've said that before. Two independent people come together, two strong people. Now, sometimes a man can come from a dear attitude, right? That this is a very gentle, sweet nature, loving, more passive nature. And here comes this fireball, right? Woo! I gotta tell you, my twin's a Pisces and I'm an Aries. It's oil. I mean, it's not oil and water. It's water and fire, right? You can't have too much water or it'll put out my fire, right? If it's too depressing and emotional, I'm over it. You can't have too much fire or it's gonna dry up. Burn up his water or boil his water, piss him off, right? So that doesn't work. There's gotta be a balance that we strike. So today I've been posting things so people can look at what I'm posting. And I've said this before. A lot of times people will say, well, I know you were talking about me. No, I'm not talking about anyone in particular. I'm being guided to post these things because I've got a lot of clients that are going through a difficult situation, and it's all mirrored. It's all the same thing. So it is also about the divine feminine learning how to stand in her divine power, but her divine power isn't abusive, right? This is what I posted. It's funny. What I saw this morning, hooker, bitch, Barbie. That's what they call you. Hooker, bitch, Barbie. You provoke her until she roars, and then you get upset at her for becoming the monster that you created. I've said that in my video, right? Poke, because you're good at fighting. You like to scrap. You like that. I know how to deal with that. I don't know how to deal with love and gentle, unconditional, loving energy. I haven't experienced that in my life, so it's unfamiliar to me. It makes me uncomfortable. I'm not used to expressing my emotions and my feelings. I haven't had that demonstrated to me. That wasn't what I was raised with. Right? I was raised with something different. Or I was raised by somebody that told me that I was not to be seen crying. I was not to allow my emotions to get the best of me because I would be looked down upon or made fun of. So I have learned to put on this tough exterior, but that exterior is absolutely a mask. It isn't even the truth of who you are, right? So I said, right? Come on, let's be honest here. And this absolutely goes the same both ways. Right? You provoke them until they roar, and then you get upset with them for becoming the monster you created. I work with clients whose girlfriends or wives are so insecure, she hunts in her husband's or boyfriend's phone, emails, looking to see if he's cheating. It's constant accusations of cheating until he blows his top, right? And he treats her in a negative way. Then I have men who will lie and manipulate again and again. Why are they doing that? Oftentimes because they're afraid the wife's going to flip out, because they're not going to understand where they're coming from, or they're just freaking lying manipulators, right? They speak disrespectfully and abusively to their wife or girlfriend, and that just pokes at her emotionally again and again, making her feel invisible until she becomes a nagging or cold wife or girlfriend. Or this is my personal pet peeve, and I've debated this with men, and I respect that you all get your own opinion. I'm just telling you that if you have the opinion that I'm the opposite of my opinion, you won't be a man in my life, okay? So I have an example of walking down. I'll give you an example of my own parents. My mother was very beautiful, very short. She was only 5 feet tall. My family, we're Welsh, and we come from heavy stock, right? We have to fight weight coming on us. It's just the way it is. I've got a muscular frame, right? I put on weight very easily. My whole family has. It's just the way it is. And so my mother marries this very handsome man. He was the most handsome eligible bachelor. She was the most beautiful eligible bachelorette. And she was 112 pounds when they got married. Well, she ended up marrying, she had a hard life, and she ends up marrying this guy who turns into Midas, and she becomes a spoiled princess. And she puts on a lot of weight. And she's always very beautiful. Her face was very beautiful, but she was heavier. And my dad and her used to go dancing when they first met. They loved dancing, right? I love dancing. And so my mother and father came to visit me. I was living in Canada. This is when I was in my abusive relationship for 10 years. And it was New Year's Eve. It was snowing outside. And I don't know if anybody knows Victoria. I lived in Victoria on Vancouver Island. And we were walking downtown, and it was pretty cold, so we wanted to walk through the Empress Hotel. It's right there in the Inner Harbor. It's this beautiful, beautiful, incredible hotel where the Queen would stay when she comes, right? And I actually had my wedding reception there. And as we're walking through the lobby, now think about this, it's snowing outside, so we're dressed for snow, right? We got short shoes on, we got big warm coats on, and my ex-husband was very handsome as well. One good thing about him is he never did this, what was about to happen. He was respectful in that way. We're walking along, and my dad is holding my mother. You know how the man takes the woman's arm in their arm? And I always thought that that was so chivalrous, and he is. He was a gentleman, right, in that way. But he was obviously not happy. This was very shortly before their marriage ended, and I didn't know all the things that were going on in their marriage, right? And my dad had actually, and I won't even tell you, but anyway, the marriage was about to blow apart after 35 years. And it happened because my little sister died, and they both snapped. But anyway, they're walking along. I was walking with my ex, and things were okay. And it never was great with us, never. Not from the very beginning. It was always tense, but it was, you know, my parents had just arrived. And I don't know what happened. I dropped, something was dropped, and I stopped to pick it up while everybody was walking ahead of me. Now, I know that that spiritually happened on purpose. I look back now, and I know exactly why that happened. And you're going to hear Peter. Remember I told you how Peter, who slices off the sword of the one who's hurting, the ones that were trying to hurt Jesus, trying to take the one they loved? That's what I do. This is the defender of armies. This is the Chihuahua attacking the German Shepherd. My dad's a German Shepherd, right? He is actually German, my stepdad. So we're walking along. And I often wonder if my dad watches my videos. And he would probably be very angry at me saying this, but I think he needs to hear it. And we're walking along. I pick up whatever it is. And as I went to stand again, walking towards us, because it's New Year's Eve, there's a ball going on in the Empress, in the ballroom, right? Is a man in a black tuxedo and a woman in a red dress. She's very tall and slim. My mom's short, right? And chunky. She wasn't fat and obese. She was chunky, and she was always beautiful. And they walk towards us, and the woman is in this long red gown with her hair piled up, very tall, very slim. My dad likes tall, slim women. I don't know why he married my mom, you know? And her dress was, she had a body like an hourglass, right? It was beautiful, tall and slim. And she had a slit from the floor all the way up to her ass, like straight up to the back of her butt, like nothing to the imagination in that dress. Fake boobs, like the whole big deal, right? And my mom had huge boobs, and they were real, right? We got that in our family, but when you get big boobs, you also have the ability to gain weight. It's the skinny women that have no body, and then they go buy the boobs, and then they're the Barbie, right? So that was a Barbie walking by. And as they walked past us, my dad still got my mother's hand in his arm, right? He physically stopped walking and turned around and looked at her. And I lost my shit. I'm telling you, they just got there. And I said, how dare you disrespect my mother that way? And my mom was like, Sherry. And my ex looked at me like, oh God, here we go. And my dad was just like, he goes, ugh. He says, I'm married, but I'm not blind. And I said, and you have no respect, obviously, either. You can find a hotel. And then I left. I took off. I was bawling. That man, my father, was like Jesus to me. I looked up to him. I thought, I based every man on him. Every man on that man. I had such respect for him. And when he did that, it shattered my illusion. Okay? There's a message right there. I put him on a pedestal. He was just a man. Now, I've debated this with everybody. I talked to my landlord about it. I had a client that came over, and she's recently married, very beautiful woman, married a man he's a nice looking guy, but he's not on par with her, if you want to look just looks, right? He's actually really rough and difficult. He's a pain in the ass, big time. But she saw the cream puff inside of him, right? And I think my dad saw that, obviously, in my mother. Because she was tough. It was the opposite with my mom and dad, right? My dad was quiet, my mother was really tough. But inside she was extremely sensitive. She was a Cancer. She was a crab, right? And that's a hard shell. Inside, it's kind of like the palm tree, prickly palm tree. But inside, there's the heart of the palm. People eat them. They're delicacies, right? So, my client came and she gave me she asked for a reading, and the reading was pretty intense. And I was like, okay. And I said, I don't want to know what's going on. I don't want to know what's going on because I want you to see that this is Spirit's messages. And it was pretty consistent. And then I looked at her at the end and I said, he's talking to someone online. That's what I'm getting. I don't know what it's in regards to, but that's what I'm getting. And it's funny because I was attacked yesterday by somebody I did a reading for, and by the husband. He wrote to me and said, I love my wife, I'm not cheating, and you better be careful because I think you're dealing with dark energy. And I thought, no, I'm not. I know who I'm dealing with. And as I got the message, I walked past a big owl in the store. And the owl is the seer, right? The owl sees past the illusion and the deception and sees, but it goes both ways. She could have been having illusions, right? She could have been deceiving herself. But he also was too, not telling the truth. That was a fact. Now, what he was not telling the truth of, that was debatable. Was it what she thought, or was it because he was worried, like this message said, you know, that because she's been accusing him of cheating, okay, if this comes up, if she sees this and I tell her this, she's going to freaking lose her mind, and it's going to be a nightmare. So it's easier for me to tell a white lie. But Spirit said he's lying, right? Now, she's out of her mind thinking all that crap. So this one that came here showed me her phone. And there were videos, and they were disgusting, and they were vile. They were vile. I'm telling you, they haven't even been married a year. It's been 8 months. And there was a woman spreading her crotch, spreading her butthole, doing all kinds of stuff, and he had been sending them back and forth to his friends. That's what they were doing, sending them to each other. And I just got a hit right now, and I like this. I'm going to call her, actually, and tell her. And I just said, wow. And she said, I'm filing for divorce. I'm done. I mean, that's cheating. And I spoke to my landlord. My landlord said, I don't consider that cheating. And I said, how do you not consider that cheating? And he said, well, he didn't have sex with her. And I said, do you consider that respectful, honorable? I don't. I consider that cheating. Now, I told you that somebody got into my twins' emails, right, that I sent to him. And there was a misunderstanding. And there were pictures of me. Now, what if somebody who was married got those and the wife misunderstood and thought I was sending those pictures to her husband? Total misunderstanding. That's grounds for divorce. You're cheating. That's cyber sex, blah, 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 when it wasn't the case, right? So this is all being said. This all needs to come out for every one of my clients that has been having this issue. Because what you have in all reality is a breakdown of communication. Why did my dad turn his head and look at that woman? He would never have done that if he was happy. He wasn't happy. And he said, and they were going dancing, right? My mom said, I would love to go dancing. And his response was, I'd like to go dancing instead of weightlifting. I thought, wow. And then my other client, it was, we were walking and these 4 beautiful girls are in front of us, you know, young, 10 years younger than me, 15 years younger, perfect bodies, great hair, great clothes. And these 2 good-looking guys start walking towards us. They don't even look at them. They look at me and they say, well, hello, how are you? Now, she's a really bubbly light, right? She's an Aries and she's got bright light and energy exudes from her. And she said to her husband, and it's funny because it wasn't her that was supposed to get that message. It wasn't him, it was her. She didn't understand. She was supposed to take that and recognize who she was and what she was exuding. She didn't get that because she's extremely insecure. So she said to her husband, now why do you think that they didn't even look at those other women and say anything to those gorgeous women that are clearly 10, 20 years younger than me, but they said that to me? Because clearly they recognized my light. Now she was right the first time, right? She was right. That's the truth. But his response was, no, it's because they knew they didn't stand a chance with those gorgeous girls. So they figured, you know, hey, I'll take a shot with the older one. And I was like, what is wrong with you? Open mouth, insert your entire leg and the other one too, right? How do you think that that's going to make your wife feel? Your wife who already feels like you're cheating on her, who already thinks that you're looking at other women. Do you think she's going to feel validated? So the problem may have been that he's so annoyed that she's constantly doing that. She's constantly saying, well, why do you think they're doing that? She's on my ass all the time. I can't take it anymore and I just snapped, right? There's that perspective. Or there's her perspective. So whatever the case is, they need to go to counseling. They're not communicating properly. There's a misunderstanding. Why? Because people aren't expressing their true feelings. Why? Because when I do express my true feelings, you lose your shit on me, right? Is that what happened? Now, is that what happens, or is that because that's what has happened your whole life and so now you're projecting that? That's going to happen. Well, I know your energy. I know your energy. You're very strong. You're very outspoken. You're very aggressive. You know, okay? And I don't want, if I tell you this, you're never going to believe me. Now, what did I tell you guys a while back? If you had to tell somebody the most important thing in the entire world, everything relied upon this for you, and you knew they wouldn't believe you, what would you do? You try. You try. Because you don't know that, right? You don't know that they're not going to believe you. It's your own fear. So now I'm going to go, so why I'm saying this whole thing, this is interesting. I had no idea this was coming up, all because of the crow. This is really interesting. There's a song that's come out, and I love it. I love it. I'm going to let you guys hear the beginning of it.
I like to make my songs theatrical always, so it's kind
Hold
of...
on. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to hear it. Maybe I don't think I can. I don't think I can do it because I'll get kicked off YouTube. They'll not allow us to do it. But the song is called Psycho. She's sweet, but she's psycho, right? And I love it. I sing it all the time. I just like the tone of it. She's got a really cool voice. Oh, she's sweet, but she's psycho, a little bit psycho. Have you heard it? So I pop it up this morning because it kept coming, and I thought, why does that keep coming up? Is that what you think of me? Clearly, because this man said that to me, right? You're crazy. Remember? I think you're a little bit crazy. No, I'm not crazy. You drive me crazy. You poke and poke and poke until I freaking snap. And then you tell me that I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. So what I love about this, and I've posted it on my Facebook page, my Sherry Columbus page, as well as my Angels Whisper page, I would encourage you to actually watch the video. It's called Ava Max, Sweet But Psycho, Official Lyrics and Meaning Verified. Okay? She wrote the song. And it's awesome. I said, here's me. I claim this song, right? This woman, I said, please watch the video. So you understand. This woman is strong, independent, and the men, as well as many women, are threatened by her. Well, they should be respecting her. She's not worried. As I said, she's strong and independent. She was raised that way by strong, independent women as her role models, and she has raised her kids the same way. And intimidated little boys need not apply. Clearly, this guy's friends, and we use that term very loosely, aren't able to see, hold on, the truth of who she is. Now, this does not apply to the women who are divas, right? Who do not respect the men in their lives as well as others. This woman is, as I said, independent. She's not looking for a sugar daddy, right? She doesn't need anyone. She doesn't need you. She's not with you because she needs you. She's with you because she chooses you, because she loves you, because she sees in you what my client saw in her cream puff husband. The same cream puff that I saw when I met him. This big badass exterior, but inside he's actually very hurting. He's actually insecure and very, very worried that he's going to lose that beautiful wife. Everyone looks at her. She works with doctors. He doesn't have that life. He's from the hood. He's constantly afraid. Why are you with me? And I know I'm not going to be able to keep you. Because why? Because he had a divorce from a wife that completely screwed him. He had no idea. She was having an affair the whole time they were together. The whole time. And so he's terrified. But instead of being honest about that, because that would make him vulnerable, right? That would expose his secret. And because of that, he goes the opposite way and projects this aggressive control. And it's abusive. He's extremely abusive in that way. And yet she knows that person's inside there, right? So she's not there with him because she needs him. She's with him. It's like I said to my twin's brother, I don't love him because I need him. I need him because I love him, right? I choose him. She's looking for an equally independent man who knows his worth and recognizes that in her. He knows she's a worthy partner. Now, a lot of times we're not together with the ones that we're meant to be with yet because they haven't gotten to the place where they have realized how to love themselves first. You need to be your own best friend before anyone can step and be your partner, right? And it took me a long time to understand that, and I still work on it, right? I'm my own worst critic, believe me. So here's the song. She's sweet, but she's psycho, a little bit psycho. At night, she's screaming, I'm out of my mind. Why? You drive me freaking crazy, right? She'll make you curse, but she's a blessing. She'll rip your shirt within a second. You'll be coming back for seconds with your plate. You just can't help it. You play along. You let her lead you on. You'll be saying no, then saying yes, because she's messing with your head. Right? She's grab a cop gun kind of crazy. She's poison but tasty. People as in his friends, run, don't walk away. Because she's sweet, but she's a psycho. Someone said, don't drink her potions. She'll kiss your neck with no emotion. When she's mean, you know you love it. Because she tastes so sweet, don't sugarcoat it. You'll play along, you'll let her lead her on. She's sweet, but she's a psycho. Now, when you listen to the girl writing the song, there's two different people here that I'm looking at, right? There's the one who is sweet and psycho. She's pretty. She'll lead you on. She'll tease you. She'll scream and yell. She'll accuse you, right? Accuse you of cheating on her. She wants a sugar daddy. She expects you to give. I see it. I want it. I see it. I like it. I want it. It's mine, right? Mine. Veruca Salt in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, right? I want that now. She's the one who throws a temper tantrum. I want to go. We're not going there. We're doing it my way. Now, people will look at an Aries and they'll say, that's what that is. I know what Aries are. That's what they are. Just that. That's what they are. No, that's not what they are. Actually, that's what an afflicted Aries is. That's what an upside down Aries is. That's what an Aries that is not enlightened is. And that is inside everybody. Right? A Leo is courageous and strong and shining in the light and the divine masculine, or they're arrogant and conceited and stuck up and prideful, right? It could be whatever it is. You can't label somebody just because they're, well, like, yeah, but look at your energy. Your energy is very strong. Yes, but you know what? I'll fight to the death for the people I love. I am the most loyal person I've ever met. I've never cheated on anybody, not even in my mind. Ever. I never would. I would never, ever step over another person's relationship. I respect relationships. And when I wrote that husband back and I said all of these things, you got me wrong. I don't work with dark energy and you got me wrong, right? I can see where you're coming from and I can see where she's coming from. But what I got from Spirit was straight. You lied. Why you lied is up to you to decide. You and your wife can figure it out, but you straight up lied, okay? So don't go there with me. And that's it, right? I'm gonna expect the most of you, right? I have high expectations because I know what you can deliver, right? I don't expect you to act like a child, because you're an adult. And I'm not allowed to do it either. Remember I told you my friend Tony? He's an Aries. He called me on my shit right away, and I didn't even know he was mad. Now, that was the problem. He wasn't answering me, and I said, what's going on? Because he had come to my page, and so I would respond, nothing. And I'm like, you know what? Don't bother. Don't worry about it. And then I got, I'm not responding to you, and I'll tell you the truth. I'll tell you what he said to me. I'll tell you the words. Because I had reason to feel ashamed of myself, right? And I'll tell you the words. And this was held inside because this is a very strong Aries man, but he's very gentle, very quiet, right? I don't answer you because of the ugly, condescending manner in which you have spoken to me. I have always spoken to you kindly and respectfully and will tolerate absolutely nothing, no less in return, not from you, not from anyone else for that matter. You want me to respond, then you show me the same kindness and respect that I show you. And I said, I agree, I apologized. You deserve the respect that you have shown me. I clearly was angry. I didn't even realize myself that I was until that came out of my mouth. And then I went back, and we discussed this for a while. Went back. The words that I spoke, I stand by. The truth hurts sometimes. But it wasn't for me to judge why he chose to do what he did, right? Everyone has lessons. Everybody makes poor choices. I certainly have. And this was someone who was my friend, right? And he expected me to be his friend, and yet I was disappointed in him. I was angry at him, and I also felt the energy coming from his ex, right? She kept coming at me. The energy was just intense and psychic attacks, and it was awful. And so I was trying to protect myself from him. So I was pushing him away. And it was like all of a sudden the bells went off in my head. Oh my God, oh my God. And so I wrote to him after I did our reading the other day. I almost put a disclaimer in the video, and then I decided I have to tell you guys, right? I told you about this conversation and how he was really pissed off, and he was the King of Wands upside down, right? And he was being arrogant, and he was being, stubborn. And, well, in all reality, I'm an Aries too. So I was obviously being the King of Wands in reverse. Now, that's how I behaved when I said what I did the first time. What he said was wrong. It was wrong in my eyes. I still don't stand by it, but that's his choice in his life, right? I just won't go. That won't be my lifestyle, right? I didn't like it. And I was disappointed because this is someone that I was with. I thought I knew this person, right? And it disappointed me. It made me angry. And I also wanted to push him away. Now think about that. How many times have we talked about how spiritual people, as they awaken, they change, and their friends don't recognize them anymore? It makes them angry. It's threatening to them. And so they're mean, right? Because they're scared, they don't like it, or they don't understand it. Who are you? Where did you go? And what did you do with my friend? And it made me feel like, how did I not see who you were? How did I not see that in you? You know, well, you've changed in 5 years, Sherry. So is he, right? And that's his perspective. And just because this is my truth, it doesn't mean it's his truth, right? So I didn't handle it. What I said to him, I said to him, you know what, Sony, what I said to you, I meant. I did mean it. But I was your friend, and I'll tell you what I got. After I listened to my reading that I spoke about this the other day, I edit my videos, right? And I hear myself talking. Now, when I start rolling, I know when my higher self is talking, I start to rhyme, right? And I feel like I hear what I'm saying, but when I edit the videos back, I hear my higher self. You hear my voice, but I hear my higher self. And I was deeply ashamed. And I sat here with tears pouring down my face because my own voice was telling me what I was not doing. And remember I said to you guys, the last message, I said, I know what, I chose this card. It was the last message. And I said, I know that this message is for me. I chose this. I am hearing this and I am doing this. But I didn't make it clear enough for all of you. And maybe it doesn't have to be done for all of you, but I choose to be this way because I just want to do this. It feels right to me. I did hear myself, but I didn't hear myself fully. When I heard myself later, I heard the ego in my voice. And when I heard my higher self speaking, my higher self took over and was telling me what I was supposed to do. And I heard it. So I wrote to him. Literally right after I edited the video, I was crying and I said, dang, I'm so telling myself off in my own reading. How I behaved with you, not cool. Capital letters. Again, I'm sorry. Shit. As I spoke the words myself, I saw what I had done. I clearly saw it from my higher perspective. No, I clearly saw it, the original message, the original discussion we had, from my perspective, but not until after I edited the video did I see it from yours. It's tough when you get told off by your own higher self. And his response, instant response, no hesitation. This is a friend. Instant response. It's okay, sweetie. I forgive you. Exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. We all have our moments. Instantly, when he said that, I felt this weight drop off of me. I had been carrying this weight. Cut cords with your ex. Sometimes the cords of dysfunction aren't because they're an evil shit. Sometimes there's a problem that hasn't been severed, that hasn't been dealt with. Ghosts from the past that come up. Why did Tony come back up into my life? There was something that hadn't been finished there. I hurt him. Right? He hurt me, but I hurt him. And clearly I hurt my twin and he's hurt me. But there hasn't been any communication, so nobody knows what the hell's going on, right? You just go off of whatever you assume. So he says, it's okay, we all have our moments. And I said, no, it's not. I knew what you'd been through, but because I was frustrated, it got me angry at you. And I was trying to push your energy away from me. I jumped on the words that you said. I jumped on it. It was like I grabbed it like a life ring. Right? That was my way out. And I said, it made me feel safe to push you away. I'm so sorry. Such a huge lesson for me. I can now see, now this is my message, babe. I can now see why another would do that same thing. And yet if I hadn't experienced those feelings myself, I wouldn't have understood why people push away others to protect themselves. And he says, it is over from my end. Your forgiveness from you may be a work in progress, but I forgive you already, my friend. And I said, thank you. I'm just mad at myself that I spoke as I didn't hear myself. I should have known better. It was hard to teach this message, and even as I did that, I didn't hear your perspective until I was literally editing the video. I had no idea how hurt I was deep inside. And he said, we are humans. Mistakes will happen here and there. We just have to keep trying our best. We're only here for a short time. And I said, yeah, too short and too long at the same time, right? So that was wrapped up and that was taken care of and it was good, but it happened for a reason. It showed me I had to see it from two perspectives. It also showed me, why did you say that to me? Why did you push me away? You hurt me. Well, I did that because I was scared and I was hurt and I was trying to protect myself. I wouldn't have understood it if I hadn't gone through it, right? So many things that we have to look at. So today, as I was posting these posts on my wall, one after another, about empowering womanhood, because right now the world is run by goddess energy. It needs to be. It's the love movement, right? But that doesn't mean women. It's goddess energy. We all have to support each other in developing this empathetic, loving, nurturing, expressive energy where we are free to feel and express our vulnerability, men and women, right? So I'm posting these posts because these women are having these issues, and this is what's going on. And until men and women start having honest conversations about who they truly are, what their demons are that they battle with, and what they lack, where they lack, and what they truly want, love will continue to be a temporary emotion. Honesty and communication is key here. Why is it so difficult for people to be honest about their feelings? Communication issues are the worst. It's one of my posts today. There's no force more powerful than a woman determined to rise, right? And I said, why I'm sharing this is not only this post, and you see this little girl with a crown, right? What I am sharing is not only this post, but the fact that this post was shared by a husband dedicating it to his wife. He said, there's no force more powerful than a woman determined to rise. This is a man not threatened by a powerful woman. He respects his wife. He loves his wife. This guy, oh my God, I'll give you a hit. Tom Zeman loves his wife, I gotta tell you. Respectful, and she loves him. So all of these posts going up, women, 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 right? If you ask the universe for signs, believe what shows up, okay? The man who said that I was dealing with dark energy, no, because as soon as he said that, I saw the owl. I asked for the owl. I said, I'd really like to see the owl, the seal. I am a seer, right? And I told him that. I said, I know what the owl means. It's a seer. I am seeing the truth of this, of that. Of all the other situations and what ins and out, I don't know, right? Between you and her, that's between you and her. I'm not being paid to be your counselors. I wasn't being paid anyway. I did this as a favor, 3 hours of my day. So I said, I don't need the toxic energy coming from you. I don't need the energy coming from her. I've asked them both to leave me alone, but don't tell me I'm coming from dark energy. I know you're lying. I don't know why you're lying, but I know you're lying. So I sent a bunch of stuff off, and later I thought, geez, maybe I shouldn't even have bothered, because I gave him a voice text. So then I wrote him back, called him back. And I said, I want you to know I'm reading what you had to say. I do see it from your perspective. And I want you to hear me, hear my voice, and recognize that I'm not standing here up on high, hands folded, judging you. Okay? I got a post, I don't know if you guys saw it, it's on my page, it's on my wall, from his wife afterwards saying, thank you, the words that you spoke were very helpful. And I didn't just defend her, believe me, I was on his side too. So all of these posts were about female empowerment. And then my friend from Sedona, Patrick, he posted on Instagram with all of these people helping women to rise and empower them. Who's there to help the men learn to understand and deal with these empowered women? And I said, well, it's best you do your inner work just like we are. Who's here to help you? Spirit is here to help you. But I am not doing this just for women, I'm doing this for men too. All right, so let's drop this and let's go on. I can't believe it's an hour already. This is ridiculous. Crow symbolism. The crow says, don't be afraid to use your voice powerfully, to speak out with integrity. Know that you will need to address these issues in order to restore harmony. That's why I did what I did. I thought maybe I made a mistake saying that to that man. Maybe it wasn't my place. And then I thought, no, he came to me. I didn't go to him. She came to me. Now, if I do a reading for somebody, and I don't even get paid for it, I'm certainly not expecting to get, a book this long from a husband attacking me, telling me I'm working with dark energy, right? Don't come to me. But I tried to block it all off, and then I got a request. She posted it on my page. I thought I blocked her. I need your help, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, God, I'm stressed out. I left work. I shut work off. I didn't work for the whole day because I couldn't. There was so much toxic energy from the whole situation. So I said to Spirit, what am I supposed to do? My heart wants to help. That's the empath, right? But I'm getting attacked here, right? I'm being beaten up. I'm being burned at the stake. And, clearly not everybody's telling the truth. And it's not my job to figure out what the truth is. I'm just giving the messages that Spirit gave, and they're not lying. So I asked for the seer to show up, right? I said, I sure could use seeing him right now, because that would show me that was I wrong in what I read? And I should never do that. I should never doubt when I read my messages, because I know I ask for Spirit's blessing and guidance. I'm not wrong. Often I worry, did I get too personally involved, right? Did I cross the line? But I always say, correct for neutrality. Keep me neutral. I don't want a marriage to break up. I don't want to see a divorce happen. But if someone's going to be abused, somebody's going to be abusive, and the message says you need to go, I'm going to say it, right? I'm going to say it with force, because that's my job. So don't be afraid. And when I got home from the grocery store that night, you guys might have seen, sorry, right before that I stopped at another store. I had to get a couple other things. And while I was in there, I saw the sunflower, right? And I heard the song on the radio, Sunflower. You're the sunflower. You're my sunflower, but your love might be too much for me, right? It's too strong. I know I keep coming and going. I know I run all the time, but you could be my sunflower, maybe if I stuck around, right? And then I thought, okay, so why am I hearing that right now? I don't need to hear that. I already know that. That's why I'm not feeling really good right now. And I thought, no, there's a message in that. So I pulled up the spiritual meaning of sunflower, and there was a message for me that I needed to hear. And then as I walked out the store, I saw the most beautiful plant. It's incredible. And I thought, oh my God, what is that? And I stopped, I videotaped it, and I shared it on Instagram and on my Facebook page. It was oregano. I've never seen oregano in the flower form, in the plant form. It was beautiful. And why did I see that? Why did it pull me? The colors in it were pink and green. It was beautiful, and purple. Spiritual colors, love and green, healing and love, right? Growth, new beginnings. So I looked up oregano, and it was exactly what I needed right then. Oregano essence is to calm you and help you deal with toxic energy coming at you. That's what I was dealing with. I was dealing with this drama from this family, and I was overwhelmed, right? Because as an empath, I'm overwhelmed. And then right then, another one of my soul family members liked a post, and it was one of my own posts, and it was talking about your emotions as an empath. Right now, your emotions are high. You're reacting, your body is reacting to this situation because these people that are connecting to you are very emotional. This is a very emotional situation, and you need to be able to set energetic boundaries, right? You need to pull back from that. You need to push back from that. And remember, I said I try and give my boundaries, and they act like I don't even speak. I said, stop talking about this, please. I don't want to hear any more. I said to her about the husband, the whole thing. I don't want to hear anymore. Please stop. 10 times. Didn't respect me until I blocked them. Why do I have to get to the point where I block you? And I mean, that's happened in my life, right? I was blocked. Why was I blocked? You didn't respect me. Well, how could I respect your wishes if I didn't know what you wanted? You need to communicate that, right? Am I a mind reader? I don't know that. So I was very clear. So the crow says, use this in order to restore harmony. That's the first message from the crow. Oh, I forgot to tell him, sorry. As I got home after I went to the grocery store, saw the oregano and the sunflower, I get out of my car, and guess who was circling above me? The great horned owl. He comes very rarely. I haven't seen him for a while. And you can hear him when they go around. Oh my God. And that was the confirmation from Spirit. No, you did not misunderstand. That was the right message. What you said was the truth. So that was really nice for Spirit to give me. And then crow message, another message from crow symbolism. You have magical abilities that are waiting to be discovered and developed within you. Explore the unknown. Another message, know that there is divine balance in everything. Without darkness, there cannot be light. Without spirituality, there can be no physicality. You are being guided through this. So you are being guided. And the crow, did you hear the crow? Crows just came to drop a couple sticks off in my house that I'm building. Just came to drop a couple sticks off, right? So the crow talks about, it's a symbol of change. And I'm undergoing change. I told you I'm moving, right? Like the tarantula. Everything that you've been working towards is coming to fruition. So all the energy and work that you're putting in, you may have been feeling like you're not getting anywhere or that it's not reaching a climax, but you actually are. It's a message telling you what your next steps are, actually. So you got to pay attention to your thoughts. Pay attention to the omens around you. The crow circling around me. The crow building a nest. I know what that means to me, right? The crow circling around. Yes, you are hearing accurately. Someone's not telling the truth. There are half-truths. But my perspective has changed since yesterday, right? Because now, why is a half-truth being told? It may not be a nefarious reason. It may be fear. And because of that, I'm afraid to tell you the truth. I don't think you'll believe me, right? I will believe you. I will believe you. Give me a shot. Try, right? So you have to clear your thoughts. Pay attention to your thoughts. Right now, they're saying, actually, the message that you're getting right now, they're clearer than they've ever been before. That's why the owl literally showed up and circled above my head. And it's also letting you know that you're spreading yourself a little too thin, which was my message, right? I had to stop working. I didn't make a dime that day. I couldn't handle it. It was energetically, I was overwhelmed. I was on full-on overwhelm. It was awful. And so it's time to step back, right? Take a step back and reassess, where am I? And what am I doing and why am I doing it? Am I at a job like this because I love this job? And I don't mean me, because I do love this job. Am I here because I want to be here? Or am I doing this because this is expected of me? Is this making me happy, or is this stressing me out and making me miserable? Am I happy living here? Do I really want to go there? What do I want to do for my work? What do I want in this relationship? Why am I in this place? Why am I still here? Why am I here? I am miserable. I know what's going on. I know I'm being lied to. I know I'm being taken advantage of. I know I'm disrespected. I know, or maybe I know that we're not going to see each other the same way. I told you my ex-husband and I, we split up. We didn't split up because we hated each other. We didn't split up because we cheated on each other. Neither one of us did. We just didn't see life the same anymore. I was going on my spiritual path and he wasn't. And as you awaken, you know, somebody spoke to me this morning about it, and she was saying the difficulties with the family and her, and she says, well, how can I awaken them? And I said, you can't. You can't. It's not our job to awaken other people. It's not our job to fix everyone. It's not our job to make them understand. It's our job to live our life and stay on our path and shine our light for the ones that are awakening, that are looking for help, that want to understand, right? They will awaken on their own or they won't. But in the meantime, you don't have to defend yourself to them. You don't have to prove yourself. She says, I'm working and I thought that if I did this and I made a lot of money and, you know, I was cut off from the family and I was called the black sheep of the family and my sister got everything and because she did what they wanted and I didn't. And so I worked and I figured if I made a lot of money and I got a really nice house and I was married to a really good guy and I had all these things that they would respect me. And I said, you don't have to do anything to prove anything to them. And I wrote her back this morning, and because I thought about it for a while. We talked for a while this morning. This is the longest reading, and it's necessary. I wrote her back, and this is a person who sent me incense and this lip balm. My lips are super chapped right now, right? It's raw lip balm, and I sent her, I said, you know what? You are successful. Very much so. You are kind and giving and happily married to the love of your life. What more success is there than that? What do you have to prove? Why don't you just enjoy what you have, right? So the crow is telling you right now, is it time for you to assess why you are where you are? Are you following your dreams or the dreams of someone else? What other people expect of you? Right? Be clear about your desire to manifest the change in your life. So that is the message for Crow. My mouth is super dry from all this talking. We're going to do our reading now. We are going to go outside because it's hot in here. We're at an hour. I knew that was going to happen. Why? All my chia water with all my greens. I knew that was going to happen. Because I was trying to move too quickly. Slow down. I was trying to do everything at once. But more than that, the reason it happened was because I didn't want to make you wait. It's not your fault, but I'm telling you. I didn't want to make you wait. I could have said, okay, just give me a couple seconds, taken my time. You know, I watch other people's readings and they don't move as quickly as I do, right? But I work for a company online as well as my own company, and everybody pays by the minute. And so I need to speak very quickly. I need to move very quickly. And now I've got a big mess. I got a mess I got to clean up. I move too fast. So there's a message. Sometimes you move too quickly, right? And now you got a big mess to clean up. So that's why I got from Spirit. Remember the message was, Aries, you're going to make a mistake. And I said no, and then they told me, no, don't worry, because Eponia, the one who was raised from the red earth, would stop you before you made a mistake. Well, I don't know. What was the mistake and how was I stopped, right? I caught myself when I dealt with Tony the way I did, but I had already made a mistake, hadn't I? It was a poor choice. I was just grateful that he was my friend and was able to remember me for who I really am. And actually, I said that to him. I said, you should have said something to me. And I said, you know me better than that. That's not how I meant it. And he said, well, I would think so. But he had been through something really difficult, right? He'd been with somebody who was extremely abusive to him, who lied, who cheated, who did all these horrible things to him. And here comes this person he's expecting to be a relief, a friend, and I went, right? Didn't need it at that time. So, move too quickly, you're going to make a mistake. Oh, look. Remember I told you this is the rose. We'll use this for one. This little one was almost dead. It only had a couple leaves, and I brought it back. And look at that. This is her first rose. So this is that. And we're going to use Mr. Rosewood because look at him. Remember? He was dead. For all intents and purposes, everyone said he was dead. No way was he coming back. Let me see. Yeah, he needs water right now. So Mr. Rosewood. Ooh, look at Mrs. Rosewood. She's lush and lovely. We'll use my mom's geraniums. Do you know geraniums are used, they keep away what are they called? They keep away mosquitoes. And this is periwinkle. We'll use that, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Periwinkle I got in the forest. I love the forest. So for those who chose the Rehabilitated Rose. The Rehabilitated Rose has got feminine energy. I was about to say it's a female, right? The rehabilitated one, the one that had, that needed help and has done very well, and now she's blossoming. Maybe she's a man with that same beautiful energy, right? The Rehabilitated Rose. Okay, so for those, now I'm sitting in the sun and I'm hot. Oh my. Correct for neutrality on all levels. For those who chose the Rehabilitated Rose. Oh, I wonder if that smells. I can't tell yet, it's not open enough, but gosh. The thing with roses is you have to let them dry out, right? You can't be on them all the time, right? You don't give them too much water. It's like what I said, right? Too much water puts out our fire, and not enough water kills us. Correct for neutrality on all levels. For those who chose the Rehabilitated Rose. I have to come out here. It's amazing too. I went down to my landlord's side and I gave him a pot of, he bought me pansies when my pansies got destroyed by this product that he gave me. It wasn't his fault, but he felt bad, so he bought me new pansies. And I said, you need beautiful flowers on your deck too. So we put a pot down there, and I went down this morning and the whole center is dead. And I said, okay. And I said, he doesn't water them. And then I saw the watering can, and it had water in it. And I said, oh, well, I wonder what's going on here. So then he came up and I said, you're killing your pansies. And he goes, no, I'm not. He goes, it rained the other night. And I said, the rain didn't reach the pansies. It's underneath he says, yeah, but I watered them the other day. And I said, well, what if you only have water the other day? And when you're on the sun like this, on a deck like this, I can water today and tomorrow it'll be all dried out, right? And when it's windy, it dries out too. So you don't, and he's like, oh, well, I just watered it the day before. And I said, feel it. You got to feel it. It's rock hard. And look at the flowers in the center. They're dead. So we all need emotional water, right? We all need love and tension. Love is emotion. And we need it a little bit all the time. We don't need to be given a Mercedes, right? We don't need to be having someone fawn all over us, but we need kind words every single day. So we need to speak them to ourselves, right? I love you, Sherry. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for going public and saying, hey, you know what? Look at, I caught myself, right? I caught myself because I thought I'm not going to sit there and put that reading out and have everybody think, oh yeah, she figured it all out and he was really upside down. No, we both were. We both were, and I caught myself, right? So I put myself in my place. I got to tell you, ever since I was a little kid, you don't have to tell me when I have something pointed out that I've done wrong, you don't have to beat me up over it, right? I'm hard on myself. Correct for neutrality on all levels, and that's a flaw. Tony said, okay, you acknowledged it now, so let it go, right? Don't continue to beat yourself up over something that you can't take back. What you can do is say something, right? That's why apologizing and forgiveness is such an amazing thing for healing, because it allows for new beginnings and for it to be let go of. If you just drop something or don't address it, it's always there, right? For those who chose the Rehabilitated Rose, Marie Masquerade. Okay, this is very appropriate because there's so many messages that come out in Marie Masquerade. The very first, because of what we were discussing today, the very first thing that comes out, and it's going to come out in a positive for me. This is somebody, see how she's dressed in that beautiful gown, but she's not wearing a mask, right? She's got one because everyone she hangs out with wears masks. She doesn't want to wear this mask. She wears that mask because she's insecure. She wears that mask because if you knew the truth of who she was underneath, you might not accept her. She's in need of a real friend. She's in need of a true friend. She doesn't want fans. Remember the crow that was building the nest in the palm tree? It's got a lot of fans. I don't want a fan. I got a lot of fans. I got a lot of people, you know, giving me all kinds of attention and fanning all over me. I don't want that. Look at the fan. I don't want that. I got my own, thanks. What I want is somebody that's my friend. Somebody that cares about me for who I am, not for my beautiful clothes and not for the house that I live in, right? This is what's going on here. So this comes up when you have jealousy around you or where there's gossip. Now, I know people are gossiping. I've been shown it, and it doesn't feel good, right? It doesn't feel good because oftentimes people have no idea the truth of the situation, and I have been guilty of it myself because I saw things and I was so convinced about what I watched in my dreams, right? And I formed an opinion. But I had to constantly stop myself and say, you know, I'm not able to verify that. I'm not able to verify that. I can't be angry at that person. How do I know that's the truth of that, right? If Spirit said to me, yes, you straight up are, well, but again, remember how there can be reasons why that happened? So right now, as I'm saying these words, if you're sitting there going, okay, well, you think this of me and you don't know the truth, well, then please enlighten me. Please enlighten me. I'm not a mind reader, okay? Enlighten me to the truth of this situation. But right now, there's jealousy around somebody who works very hard. Our battery's dying. I've got to plug us in. They're jealous of their success. They're jealous of what they've been able to accomplish. I know right now somebody who other people have been lying and manipulating and talking shit on, and they don't even realize that. They're acting like they're friends. I also know that there are people that are acting like they're my friends, and they're doing the same thing. I know that. I have to let it play out, right? Spirit says let it play out. So it's part of the whole thing. Just allow it to play out, and it'll all be handled. But this one, working away, doing the hard work and getting to where they are, they've reached a level of success, and these people are jealous because they're not at that level of success. They envy it. They want it. Why should that one have that attention? Why is everybody giving that one all that attention? I should have that attention, right? Or this is a time when people will befriend you, but they're not befriending you because they actually give a shit about you. They befriend you because they feel that you've got something that they can gain, right? They can gain something from you, your influence. If you're like a political person and you shimmy up next to somebody because you want to get a bill passed or whatever, you know what I mean? Greasing the pocket of somebody because you want them to do something for you. So this is when people are trying to befriend you because of your influence. This is when people are networking instead of befriending. If you have, and a lot of times you may not realize you're doing this, right? Well, it's good for me to be around people like that, because if I'm around people like that, I'll be more accepted, or I'll be brought in, or and that's when you start dressing like them and you start hanging out with them and going into those places when you don't even belong there, and you're only there because of your job or because of where it's going to get you. You're climbing up the ladder. It's basically pimping yourself out, because it's like sleeping your way to the top. Okay, that's what they're doing. So don't keep false friends, and don't be a fair weather friend, right? Be your own true self. Wear your own fashion. Right? Create your own style. And there's another message. Now that's the main message, but the other message is that somebody's about to invite you to become a part of something or become involved in something. And it's actually quite intriguing, or it's quite flattering, because the people that are asking you are of a high influence, or they're the popular crowd, the pretty people, or whatever it is, right? But the truth of the matter is that if you do this, there are things that are hidden from you that you're not able to see. Ramifications from accepting this offer, or from going there and being involved in this situation. And as I talked to you about politics, right? How things are done for politics. Well, be sure that you're willing, and that it's worth it. That it's worth it for you, because the politics and whatever this intrigue or glamour or mystery that's involved in this, everything that's going on here, there are sacrifices that are going to be going to need to be made on your behalf, or will be made, that you aren't aware of, right? So they're saying it's tempting, it's very tempting, but don't pursue this, because it's actually an offer that's too good to be true, because it is too good to be true, because it isn't true. And also, The other message is the ones who dress up and you know, drive the fancy cars. I've got a, you know, $700 car payment because I have to have the hot car, and I spent my credit cards are maxed out for my wardrobe, and you know, my lips are all Botox, and I got fake boobs, and I'm getting, you know, my facelift, and I'm doing all of things because I have to be able to compete with all of this and be in top form to be in here. And in all reality, what you're doing is you're trying to gain approval, and because you've got a hole in your heart, because you feel like you're lacking in some way. You don't need to do that. Right? Like I said, I don't have any competition. I don't need to compete with you. I'm not going to compete with you. There's no reason for me to compete with you. I remember I gave the example of my client who, the people that were walking in front, they were 20 years younger, the fake boobs, the Restylane lips, the, you know, the hot clothes and the stiletto heels, and here she was just her regular self, and yet she was shining. Her light was shining. She was a woman of substance, right? They saw that. They felt that energy. So this is someone who is plastic. This is a plastic person, right? She would love to be who she truly is, or he. I would love to not do this. I would love to not be this. I would like to be just accepted for who I am, right? Well, the problem is you're when you put out a fake persona of who you are, then that's the energy that you draw in, those kind of people. And the people that you actually want to be around, they feel that fake coming from you, and they misread you. What a stuck-up snob. What they think, she thinks she's better than you. She thinks she's better than us. Or he, right? When that isn't even real. That's not the truth. That's a humble person. That person's actually very shy and very insecure and very loving, give you the shirt off their back. But they're so insecure, they feel like they got to project this image out there. Or I know people who dumb themselves down. Remember I told you that? Some people feel that, you know, I have to, in order to fit in this place where I'm at, I can't wear nice, clean clothes and have my hair this way, and they'll think that I think I'm better than them. They've always thought that. They've always been jealous. So I don't wash my hair, and I wear dirty clothes, and I dumb myself down. You all heard the story of the bimbo blonde, right? She's actually incredibly intelligent, but she plays herself stupid because it works for her, right? She's able to blend in that way. Sad. Be your own true self, right? Remain true to yourself, because if you are your true self, maybe those people that were jealous of you won't want you in that crowd, but that's okay, because the ones that are like you, they will want you in that crowd. And just because you're a beautiful person on the outside doesn't mean that people won't see the beauty of you on the inside. You don't have to freaking kill yourself to prove yourself to anybody, okay? Correct for neutrality on all levels. We're gonna go to those who chose Mr. Rosewood, and I did. Mr. Rosewood. Correct for neutrality on all levels. For those who chose Mr. Rosewood, we're working with the Divine Circus Oracle. If anybody would like help with a private reading, I would be honored. My website is www.theangelswhisper.com. My email address is sherrycolumbus@yahoo.com. Sherry, SherryColumbus, one word. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. Please click like, subscribe, and share. And I thought about what I said to you guys the other day. I wonder why my page is so small, my channel. You know, why I have such a smaller following when the tarot readers have such large followings. And I answered my own question. I said maybe people don't want to know what they're supposed to do. They want to know what's coming. And you know how I learned that? I woke up the other morning stressed out about my stuff that was left in Sedona, right? It's been bothering me ever since I left it there. Spirit told me to leave it there, and I didn't know why. And I left it in this woman's house. I'm not renting her suite, and you know, it's made me very uncomfortable. It's not like me to be irresponsible and leave things in other people's homes. And even though she told me not to worry, that it was in an area in her basement she'd never use, still, it's bothered me. It's not like me to do that. It's bothered me. And so I got a text message the other morning saying, I'd like to know what you're about to do about, you know, getting your stuff out of my suite. And I'm like, oh, you know, why did they have me do that? And I started getting really frustrated at Spirit. And I said, why did they have me do that? Now, if you weren't a spiritual person and you don't believe that when you hear audio messages, when I get an audio message, it's accurate, right? And then some people will say, well, how do you know you didn't hear yourself? No, I heard that because I argued it, right? And I didn't want to leave them there. And yet I did. And I said, why would you have me do that? You know, why do you take me to the wall? Why do you get me to all the way to the end, not knowing anything, before you show me what's going on? You've done this to me a gazillion times. You've done this for the last 10 years. You know that I trust you. You know I have faith in you. Why are you doing this to me? I want to know what the hell's going on. What is going on? I want to know what is happening. What am I supposed to do, right? And then I said a few minutes later to my landlord about my page being small, and he says, well, maybe you should blah, blah, blah. The messages that we're talking about here, these messages that we're discussing, here's the message again. Dash shall not take him. This is for the next week, okay? For the next week. And then I said that. I don't know, maybe it's because there's so many people that don't want to hear guidance, right? They don't want to hear what they're supposed to do. They want to know what's coming. And I just said that to Spirit, right? They told me what to do, but I want to know what's coming. So I was like, ooh, do you have faith in Spirit? Yes. So, okay, we got to get going here. Well, why did that happen? I don't know. Maybe something altered. Maybe you made a choice, Sherry. You did something that caused somebody else to make a different decision, and now you're not going to be doing that. You're going to be doing something different, right? Because everyone has free will and things change. Maybe you chose to do something different, and because of that, now it's going to switch. Who knows? All right. For those who chose Mr. Rosewood, the Duke of Shadows. I love this. This is funny. This came up today a mazillion times. So the Duke of Shadows, the Duke looks like it could be a man, looks like it could be a woman, right? An actor. The Duke is a man, however, and there's blobs behind. See those blobs hanging out behind, those dark gray blobs? And the globs look like claws. Feather boa. The magician. To me, this is the magician, right? Sleight of hand. I look like a man, but I also look like a woman. What am I? What's going on here? So the message is literally that. What's going on here? The number is 14. 1, keep your thoughts positive. Do you like what you're creating with your thoughts right now? Because the universe has just taken a snapshot, and they're now starting to create what you're thinking about. If you don't like what you're creating, you better uplift your thoughts. 4, there are angels all around you. You are completely guided, protected, and loved. I chose Mr. Rosewood. There is no reason for fear. We know what we're doing. We have your back. So what's going on here is, remember I was told by that man who wrote to me, and he said, you need to be careful who you're talking to because I think you're dealing with dark spirits. And I said, no. Well, when the Duke comes forward, he's going to help you discern the truth from a lie, right? He's going to remind you that half-truths are told all of the time. People tell half-truths. They seem like the full truth, but they're not. Now, remember I told you what was said to me by my twin? It was the truth, but it was possibly not the full truth, right? What that man was saying was a lie, but possibly not really a lie. It's half-truths. And right now, there's shadows all around every part of this whole subject. And when the time comes, the confusion is going to go away and you're going to understand. Right now, Spirit wants us to be patient. Now, I have 4 days, my landlord actually 3 days, to make a move. I've got 2 weeks in order to get my stuff, right? Spirit knows that, just like I know that. So right now, you need to be patient, but you're not to worry. This is, if anything, you're curious. I wonder what's coming, right? Not worry. Because there's more to the person, to the situation, to the opportunity, to the absence of action, to the absence of success or the seeming failure than meets the eye. The universe, remember the song, wait till you're announced. They're asking you to be patient. Wait till you're announced. We've not yet used all of our aces. We've not yet used all of our aces. We got something up our sleeve, right? This is the Duke. This is the magician. I got something here. You don't know what's going on right here. I got something up my sleeve. Wait till you're announced. We got something up our sleeve. The dogs are going to stay in chains. Everyone is competing for a love they won't receive because what this palace wants is release. Another word for release is surrender. Surrender to Spirit. That's what we're asking for you to do. Spirit has not shown you their hand yet. They've got a plan. The Duke has a plan. The magician has a plan. He's keeping it under his hat or her hat, right? She's not telling the full story. Not yet. You get to wait. But you have to understand that something has already been set in motion. There's a process that's already going on. Even if it doesn't look like that, right? If a magician, if you saw what their tricks were, it wouldn't be a trick, right? It's the universe working with you, but playing a trick. So right now, it's the same thing as never underestimate the power of planting a seed. And when you plant that seed, it starts to grow, even though you don't see it underneath the soil for a long time until it sprouts up, right? Mr. Rosewood looked like, for all intents and purposes, that he was completely dead. But look at him now, right? And this one, there was no bringing this one back from the dead. And what message kept coming up in this reading as I was shuffling? And that's an important message. Death shall not take them, right? So this is telling you that there's a bigger picture than what you're seeing going on right now. And what might appear visible on the visible to you, like out in the open, isn't the whole story. And in time, you're going to see what you're not seeing. And what's interesting is that even if you think the story is over, it isn't, right? This is not the final version of this story. You have to wait for more information to come. You have to be patient, Aries, pawing at the ground as the little Mustang that you are, right? So what I like so much about this message, especially since I chose it, is that what feels negative to you isn't. That's the cool part. Whatever it is you've been stressing about, what you feel is negative is not negative. And if you don't believe it, that's okay. Just like that man said to me, and I said, that's okay. You don't have to believe it. I believe it. Spirit says, that's okay. If you want to doubt it, that's all right. But it's not what you think, and it's not bad. You are not able to see the forest for the trees. I kept saying that, right? We're not able to see the forest for the trees. You got to get up on top of that mountain before you're able to see. And, I just got a really cool message about one of my dreams 7 years ago. So right now, unfortunately, you kind of got to go through in the dark a little bit. You got to be willing to not know where you're going. And your perspective on the situation is going to shift. It's going to change, and it's going to become extremely happy. That's the good part. And you can't see it coming right now, but this is a puzzle that's about to slide into place. Slide into place, not be forced into place. So don't go forcing anything at this time. This is a time to allow, right? It's going to help solve whatever's been tormenting you, whatever difficulty that you've been dealing with, or whatever question you've been holding. I love that. All right. So for those who chose, I am going to be soaked sitting out here. I'm so hot all of a sudden. Ugh. For those who chose my mom's geraniums, I choose the periwinkle, although I love my mom's geraniums. Correct for neutrality on all levels. For those who chose my mom's geraniums. There's a water bomber flying overhead. I hope there's no fire. We don't need that, man. California, the state of fire, right? The representative from California has the floor. The state of fire. A great fire swept through the valley. Oh, I'm remembering my dreams now. I'm hearing my dreams differently now. I was the fire that swept through the valley. Wow. And the great wave that came at the coast was my twin. Oh, I love it. Correct for neutrality. For all levels. For all levels, on every level. For those who chose Mom's Geraniums. Geraniums that are going to keep the mosquitoes away. The mosquitoes that are bloodsuckers, energy vampires, right? I guess I choose that too, right? I want that. That was my mom's favorite color, hot pink. Okay, correct for neutrality on all levels. Mom's Geraniums. Sorry. Your greatest addiction is seeking you out. Okay? Your card went flying. And it's interesting because two cards fell out together. So, whatever this is, I wonder if we need to go in the house. I heard yes. For one, it's getting way too hot. And for two, I'm dropping everything. Hold on. This time I'm not going to panic and run. I'm going to do this slowly because I already lost half of my chia water. It's too hot for me to sit out here. I've got sweat running down my back. And it's not comfortable. I don't like the heat. There's a message. I don't like the heat. The entire world knows I don't like the heat. God. There's a Canadian girl here. All right. Is this gonna... help with that? Oh. I get a headache in the heat. I'm hot. Okay, the cards that popped out together, Look at this. My hair's even hot. Fairy of the Divine Hand and the Fairy of the Highland, okay? So the Fairy of the Divine Hand is what came out first, and it's talking about distorted view. Remember, this whole beginning of the reading, there's distorted view about something. You believe something to be true when it's not. Remember the last message, it's not as it appears, right? You have a distorted view of something. It's talking about overindulging in something. Are you overindulging in food, alcohol, gossip, shopping, spending money, whatever? Negative thought processes. Are you that wife or that girlfriend who's constantly thinking your husband's going to cheat on him, constantly checking on him, sneaking into his private phone and his private email? Why do you why do I have to say private, right? There shouldn't even be a problem. That has never entered my mind, or in any relationship I've ever been in. I can't imagine. I would never be in a relationship with somebody that I felt was hiding something from me or wanted to. That's why this has been so hard for me, not knowing what's going on, right? Like, what the heck? I don't do that, right? I'm an open book. So right now, this is talking about, and it can be intoxication. Now, intoxication is a lot. You can be intoxicated by a beautiful woman. You can be intoxicated by a beautiful man. You can be intoxicated by the money, by that position, by what ooh, that looks like I can make a lot of money doing that. Ooh, that car, right? Whatever your drug of choice is, anything. It's also, you can, if you look at the picture, you see her blue eye is her truthful eye, her higher self's eye. And the dark eye, it's basically, you're so full of shit, your eyes are turning brown, right? That's what it is. And you see the dark eyes behind her? So she's starting to waver. That's why I'm showing you half of that. Well, those ones are telling me this. I know that you're saying this and it sounds good, but my friends say this. She's a little bit psycho. Yeah, she's cute, but she's freaking psycho. Don't drink her potion. Don't drink her potion. She'll bite your neck, right? She'll take all of your money. Oh, okay, this one isn't working. Hold on. My phone is an iPhone, and it only works with an iPhone cord. It only wants to be connected with a like one, which makes perfect sense to me. I only want to be connected energetically with someone like me. I don't work when I'm not connected to one like me, right? So watch, listen to my phone wake up when I give it the right cord. Did you go? Okay, all right. So, she's a little psycho, right? Or he. So a lot of times, and I've been getting this too, I probably have told you guys that I've had these people writing to me, right, for the last 5.5 years, trying to make me believe certain things about my spiritual twin, right? Like want me to believe that this is the truth of what's going on, when in all reality it's not, right? So you know already whatever this is in regards to, because that's the message. Right? You already know. Your higher self has already told you. A red flag has already gone up. You already know this isn't right. Something's not right here. What am I doing here? Why am I in this place? This isn't working for me. This isn't the truth. Why is it when you know, what you just said leaves a bad taste in my mouth? You know what? I thought about that the other day. Remember when I said something and I said, you know what? I have a bad taste in my mouth. And I said, there must be something that I said that isn't right. No, that's not why you get a bad taste in your mouth. The saying is, I got a bad taste in my mouth. There's something not right here. There's something not right with what you said. It's leaving a bad taste in my mouth. So you already know. So the message is, it's kind of like me. When that man wrote to me and said, I think you're dealing with darker energy, right? They want you to think that. Or are people planting evil thoughts into your mind about him? No. That's actually what I'm getting, right? So what's the truth of the matter? Are people writing to me and giving me these messages and planting this into my head? Or is this actually my higher self saying, hello, wake up, take a look at that, right? Because that man said, you're dealing with dark energy and spirit. And I thought, no, I'm not. And then I questioned myself. Why would I question myself when I do a reading? I'm accurate with these messages. I always have been. Always. That's how I knew I was supposed to do this work. I don't even know why. Every time I picked up a card, it was the right one, because I'm connected, okay? Because it's not me doing it. It's my higher self working with spirit. When the owl showed up in the store right then, and then when he flew over my head, I knew straight up, you're seeing, okay? I may not be seeing the full reason why or the full truth, but what I got is accurate. So what you're picking up is accurate. Spirit says, we want you to trust what you're getting. Something's not right. And if it's not necessarily what you think it is, then you need to ask the questions. Why? What isn't right about this story, about this thing? Because what's going on right now is your worst addiction is seeking you out. Who is your worst addiction? What is your worst addiction? I know who my worst addiction was, if you want to talk about a person, and I've already got that energy. I've already seen it. I already know it, right? But also another addiction could be negative talk, talking bad about yourself, right? Not believing that you're picking things up right now. It's also a temptation. I'm here to tempt you. I'm here to put in front of you and tell you something that you can't pass up this opportunity. It's too good to pass up. This is golden. This is tempting you. It wouldn't be a temptation if you didn't want it, right? And Spirit says that it could seem like it's harmless. It could be something as simple as drinking and driving. That's not simple. Take it from me. No, don't get in that car and drive if you've been drinking. No, don't shoot that line of Coke. Not once. Don't. Nope. You've been clean for how long and you're gonna take a beer? Don't even drink a beer. No. It's okay if they just take a little bit. No, it's not okay. It's not okay. You're an alcoholic, so yeah, it's not a problem for you. It is a problem for them. I'm sorry. It is a problem for them. You need to go to rehab and you need to stay away from this person, right? Maybe that's the problem. You have a problem. And you can hide it and you can pretend and put it off on everybody else and say, she's a little bit psycho. But the truth of the matter is, you're an addict and you need to deal with it, right? Your worst addiction is seeking you out. It's crawling in your veins. If you want it so bad, you'll do it, whatever it is. Your worst addiction, work. Calling you into work when you know you shouldn't work. What did Spirit say to me? It's enough already. You know what? Your boundaries. Put your boundaries up. It's enough. Stop. Whatever this is, Spirit is saying, if somebody is calling you closer to look at something, I'm just going to check it out. I'm just going to go see. I'm just going to go meet him. No, don't go meet him. This is your ex. You know he wants sex. When I rhyme, I'm always on time. When I rhyme, it's my higher self speaking. No, don't go meet your ex. All he wants is sex. That's what it is. I know that was a loud freaking message or I wouldn't have rhymed. So, no, don't bother. Anyone who's watching me, don't think you're going to come get a roll in the hay. It's not happening. I'm not interested in you. I just want sex, right? What is that message? You don't want me. You just like attention. You didn't want me. I heard you've been asking about me. You've been going all around town at all the parties asking about me. You never wanted me. You never wanted me then. You threw me away. You don't want me now, but you don't want somebody else to have me. So you're going to entice me. You're going to throw your tits out in front of me, or you're going to flash your wallet at me, or you're going to come and flash your beautiful smile at me, right? And try and pull me in, but all you want is sex. That's a no. Don't go. Don't connect. Check in with your inner wisdom. This is the answer for you. And the answer is no. The answer is I don't want to go there, because this is about someone asking you to have an affair with them. They're telling you that they're getting out of that marriage, but they're not. They're lying. They're married, and this is an affair. This is not okay. This is compromising your integrity. And that person is showing absolute disrespect for you. No. Behavior, I'm looking online. I'm not having sex with them. I'm just looking at videos. I'm saying, no, I'm sorry. That's disrespectful. Would you do that in front of your child? Would you do that in front of your wife? Would you tell your daughter that it's okay for her boyfriend to do that? No. So then it's not okay for you. So right now, whatever it is that's coming to you, it's going to lead you away from where you want to be. It's going to, instead of instilling harmony, it's going to destroy harmony. It's going to eat away at everything positive. And you don't have to run from it. You don't have to be terrified of it. You just have to say, no thanks. I already know my exes are calling. I already know that. I've had it. And my clients have been showing it to me all day. Oh my God, my ex just called. I said, I know. I told her it was going to happen, and there he was, right? I see it before it happens, and it's coming. So steel yourself, because you already know. Stay away. Your fiercest addiction is seeking you out, and you're on the edge. Why are you on the edge? Because she's got a hot fucking body, man. Her body's rocking. I know I can tap that. I can do that. You're not there, or she's not there. If I do that this one time, no one will know. Yeah, but if they find out, you've made your choice, and it's over for you. You've lost the best thing you could have ever had, right? Don't you do it. Fairy of the Highland. It's time to be brave. Lots of messages. One is this one that's coming towards you, right? This whatever this is, this addiction that's seeking you out. Time to be brave and cut it away. Cut the cords away, right? This also is a message about you not wanting to be someone to speak your truth, not wanting. This is somebody who has been disrespected. This is somebody who's been dishonored, somebody who has been lied to, cheated on, spoken down to, treated with absolute disrespect. And They've tried to say, they've tried to put their boundaries down, but they haven't been heard, right? Clearly they haven't heard you. You don't want to fight, you don't want to stand, but Spirit is saying now's the time to pull your sword out. This is the message that I got for that reading, that client. It's time. It's time. See this? I feared to use it. I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to be aggressive. I don't want to come across like Sherry. I don't want to sound like a crazy psycho, right? I don't want to sound like that. I don't want to go into battle. And Spirit is telling you, we want you to go into battle because the time of truce is over. They're not listening to you. We have to have you stand and be strong. Sometimes that's what it's going to have to take for somebody to take you seriously. Maybe you have been doing all the work, other people haven't, and they're stealing your work or putting their name on what you've done. Oh, I just said that to them. No, it's not okay. I've done all this work, but because this is a boss, and this boss is, he's a big guy, he's a big wig, and even though you've done all of the work, he's gone on to the next higher up and said that it was his idea when it was your idea? No. They're taking advantage of you. They haven't done the work themselves. Enough is enough. Spirit says it's time to cut the cords. Use your big freaking stick and slice, right? What's really sad is what is happening to you. But what's worse than sad is you allowing this to happen. So right now, there's no reason for you to feel guilty. And don't try and tell them that they're wrong. Don't try and explain to them why you're not doing what they want you to do. Because narcissists can't hear you. They won't hear you. And they'll try and tell you that you're crazy. You're a little psycho. Why are you listening to her? She's crazy. She's talking a dark energy. No, you're a liar. You're a liar. I know for a fact you're a liar because it got proven to me. I had a freaking owl fly above my head. You think that that's a little bit crazy psycho, but your enlightened wife knows that that's the truth. So there's your story. Put that in your pipe and smoke it, right? Okay, the last message, Periwinkle. I choose this one. We're using the Divine Circus Oracle. Correct for neutrality. I wonder what song's playing right now. Don't wait. That was the message. Don't wait. You've only got a limited time. Huh. That could be what they say to you. Don't wait. You don't have time. You've only got a limited time. You've got to make a decision. Don't wait. And Spirit says, yeah, pass on it. It's cool. Limited time or not. I don't care if I have 6 months. I'm not going there. Not taking it. Not taking that offer. Not meeting you. Not going to that hotel. Not happening. Sorry. I know what you want. Oh, what are you talking about? That's a little conceited, don't you think? You're a little full of yourself. Then you start thinking to myself, oh my God, maybe that wasn't true. No, believe your first thought. Correct for neutrality on all levels. For those who chose the periwinkle. Periwinkle is purple flowers. It was growing wild in the forest. Beautiful forest, my favorite place. Correct for neutrality on all levels. Correct for neutrality on all levels. Ooh, I just hit the wall. Tired. I just hit the wall. Did you hear that? What was the message about? You may hit the wall and you may not feel like you can get through it. You've come up against a wall, so all of a sudden I've hit a wall. Correct for neutrality. Maybe you just hit the wall. Now what are you going to do? Ha! Guest of honor. I chose this. And this is what came up for my client today. I can't wait for her to see this reading. She's in line with me all day energetically. So the guest of honor, here she is wearing a masquerade ball gown and mask, right? And she's holding a golden chalice. She's holding the golden cup. She's holding the Ace of Cups in her hands. The number is 22. She's already graduated. She's after graduation, right? She has gone out and made her way in the world. Now, for a long time, she kind of felt like she was on the outside, or she felt like, I really wanted that person. I really wanted that job. I really wanted to be accepted into that crowd, right? But she wasn't. Remember that one that wanted to be like everyone else, so changes to be like them, right? But she didn't belong. She wanted to belong to someone or something or whatever it was, right? Those ones who have it all, have the perfect home, the perfect husband, the perfect car, perfect life, perfect parties. I wanted that. I didn't have that. I kept looking in the window from the outside, right? I used to line up at the club and I didn't get to go into the VIP section. That's where she was, right? And sometimes Spirit says, we have to go through this. It's very important to go through this time where we want you to be on your own, right? We want you to stand and do it independently, right? Because what happens? Two independent people are the healthy ones that come together. So at a time, it's right to be alone, to be the lone wolf, to be on the outside, to be the outsider even. because it teaches you to be brave, right? And you have to endure tough times and rude comments and people that don't understand you and don't accept you. And no matter what you say, they don't get it, right? This is where you're forced to grow. You're forced to become who you are. You grow in your own sense of self-worth and self-esteem. You learn to love yourself because they didn't. You learn to accept yourself because they didn't. You learn to take care of yourself because they didn't. You learn to do it all on your own because they weren't there to do it for you, right? You didn't have anybody carrying you. You weren't riding on the back of everybody else. You didn't have a crowd of friends to keep around you to flatter you and be your fan all along so that you had all of your insecurities masked and you could just, I don't have to face who I am, and I can just fan my troubles away, and everyone can just cater to me, right? This is what was what they were doing, but not you. You had to stand. You had to do it on your own. You developed yourself, and you became who you are, and you stood on your own. And now, right now, Spirit says, you've spent enough time on your own. We want you to come back in. Well, I don't necessarily want to come back in. Well, remember all those people? Remember all those guys I told you? The ones I wanted? Everyone that knows me knows these people, and I would have given my right arm, to be with this person that I loved more than anything. I thought, or it was destined to be there because I thought it was a spiritual connection. It was extremely important, and I would have done anything, right? And it didn't happen. God, why did you not allow that to happen? Why would you not give me that job when I worked so hard for that? I deserve that, right? Nope, door slammed in your face. Why? Because that wasn't for you. So right now, Spirit says, you have been on the outside, and you've actually been the one cutting people out of your life, left, right, and center. You know what? You don't vibe to my frequency. You gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta go. Cutting corners, cutting boundaries, cutting cords. Don't want you, don't want you, don't want you. Don't want this area, don't want this situation. I'm not working there anymore. I am cleaning up my life, and this is the way I like it. I like it just fine. This is the way it is, right? I am vibrating at my own frequency, so not at yours, not at the fake frequency. I'm not wearing a fake mask. I'm being myself. And so all of the people that are friends with me, they're actually friends with me because they know that I'm genuine. They're actually friends with me because they know that I'm not psycho, that I know that I'm not crazy. If I'm crazy in the best of ways, right? Fun crazy. They know that I'm loyal. They know that I'm honest. They know that I would give them the shirt off my back. They know that I would be there for them. If they called me in the middle of the night, even if I was mad at them, I would be there. Because just because you're mad at someone doesn't mean you don't love them. They know that about me. And those are the people that are around me. Why? Because I am myself, and I never succumb to trying to fit a mold and be like what you want me to be, right? That's who this person is, right? That's who this person is. So now you're completely set apart, but before it was like you felt like you were set apart, but now you've set yourself apart. You have chosen. I like isolation. I do. I like solitude. I enjoy it. I used to go dancing 5 nights a week. That would drive me nuts now. I couldn't handle that talking, the small talk. That annoys me. It bothers my energy, right? I love to dance. I love music, but if I could get rid of all of them, and all of that, and the smell of the cigarettes, and the smell of the alcohol, and the disrespectful behavior, and the guys grabbing my ass, and the girls giving me dirty looks, yeah, I can do with all of that gone, right? I could do with all of that gone. So right now, what's going on is all of a sudden it's time for you to step back into this light, and you're just like, Now I do accept myself. What I have is mine. I can take my stand. I can walk into any crowd and I don't feel uncomfortable. Any crowd. Remember when I couldn't walk into that beer and wine garden by myself because I wasn't drinking and I didn't have a guy with me, or I didn't have a crowd of friends with me? And Spirit said, you need to go. And I was scared to go in there. What did I have? I was armed with my water bottle, my chia water, and I went in. No alcohol, didn't know anybody. I did it. I did it on my own. It was the day my twin soul showed up, right? And there I was, standing by myself. Well, I'm with these 2 guys that came up and started talking to me, these 6'5" guys. But did it on, there was a reason it was meant to happen other than just meeting my twin soul. It was to show myself that I could do it. I didn't need alcohol. I didn't need anybody else. Well, I had just as much the right to be there as anyone else. I wanted to be there for the music, and that's why I was there. So right here, Spirit is saying they want you to take your place in the crowd, your rightful place. You will still be your own individual, unique self. Right? You will be who you are. You will feel comfortable in your own skin. You don't have to be like anyone else. But what it is, Spirit says, you're going to be offered. You're going to be offered the place that you wanted. Now get this. Here's an example. I wanted a studio, a suite, my old suite back in Sedona, right? Begged him for years. Oh, let me have it back. Let me have it back. There's nothing. And all of a sudden, it would be like getting a call from him saying, I want you to take this over. Could you take this over? And you can live there for free if you do this, if you act like the hostess for my Airbnb, right? I just rhymed. Didn't I? You can take this over. You can have this for free if you act like the hostess for my Airbnb. That means something. So here, I had to beg. And the universe says, no, you don't. Now it's going to be offered to you. So it would be something like that happening, right? You're going to be offered a place in something that matters to you, something that means a lot to you. And Spirit wants you to accept it. So this is, remember I told you I wasn't quite sure what was going on as far as my move? Well, if that is what happens, that's my answer. We want you to accept it, right? So it's time for you to feel that you're the chosen one, that you belong. Now, it could be a job offer that you get, right? It could be someone coming and asking you to marry them, asking you to be their girlfriend, asking you, I don't know what going out on a date. What else could it possibly be? I want you to be a partner in my business. Wow, right? Whatever this offer is, you have wanted it desperately. And right now, Spirit says, you can imagine this. If you can't believe it, imagine getting an envelope in the mail. Oh, I saw this the other night. I saw a sheet of paper. I saw my friend Blaine's name on it. That's interesting. And I saw this paper. I opened it up. How interesting. That's interesting. Blaine the bear. So imagine yourself getting an envelope, right? And there's a golden seal on it. A wax gold seal. A wax seal on a gold insignia, and your name is written on it. It's for you. It says you were invited. I watched years ago my twins' mother and father. I thought it was their mother and father. I don't know who it was. And it was a wedding invitation, and it said you were invited. And I looked at it, and I was so excited in my dream at the time, I thought I was getting married. That's what I thought it was. So imagine it's something like that, right? Your name on it. You open it up and get excited about it. And you're wondering, am I supposed to accept this? Because look, what did we get? 2 things we got. Oh, we got Fairy of the Divine Hand, and your worst addiction is seeking you out. And then you got someone's going to make an offer. We want you to accept it. How do you know which is which? Because you know. Your higher self already knows. When the one comes, red flag goes up. When the other comes, your heart explodes. Okay? You know. It's your decision. Your higher self needs to show you which is the red flag and which is the one you're supposed to accept. And you're going to know very soon, because what it looks like is not as it appears. One is a wicked queen. One is an ice queen. One is a stuck-up narcissist that only wants your attention. They have no natural affection. They don't love you. They never did love you. They want your attention. Death shall not take him is the other one. The one that you wanted so desperately and you thought it was over. Death shall not take him. Wow. I'm excited. At 1 hour and 52 minutes, we're to wrap. Can't wait for this. I got to hear my higher self talk about this back. I love you guys. Bye.